What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a preview show for Coppa Italia. It's been a while since we did a, a midweek preview show, and the funny thing is we play Salernitana, and I need to preview the game again on Sunday. So on Saturday, new preview for again Salernitana, but in that case, I'm gonna do it a bit more in depth, with the stats and all thing, because Coppa Italia we will probably rest some players. And I have a feeling Salernitana are gonna rest also quite a lot of players, considering the position they are in the league. I don't think they're looking at the Coppa Italia, if I'm being completely honest. Because it's working, I'm gonna do it at the start. Thanks everybody who is liking the video, because the likes are up and it is helping the channel big time. So let's set a new goal for this video, 50 likes. So if you're watching now, if you rewatch it, hit the bell icon, hit the like button now, because it does help the channel massively. But yeah, let's get into the preview, because as I said, we play we play Salernitana tomorrow in the Coppa Italia, and it is a big game because Allegri hasn't won a trophy since he came into the club. We haven't won a trophy in now 2-3 years. Let's call it almost 3 years. It's a long time, for this club. We went on a much longer drought, but that came because of a lot of off the field issues. The last season you might say off the field, but before that it wasn't. There were no real off the field things. So it is a while since we won anything. Allegri is the highest paid coach in the league. He needs to win, and he tried to take the pressure off a little bit in the press conference, but that's just not going to work. Not in this case, not in this scenario, because he absolutely needs to win it. I think everybody knows that. I think he knows that, despite what he's claiming. There's no ifs and buts. You need to win the Coppa Italia, if that is... if the club actually values trophy. Now, the Coppa Italia, the big thing is a Scudetto. Nobody was really expecting us to be in this race, I think, for now. But you always need to pick up a trophy if you're Juve. The Supercoppa, I don't really mind the Supercoppa, if I'm being completely honest, because that was a preseason friendly, and it's now being pushed to a big thing because it's being played mid-season. But I don't really value, if you play Inter, I want to beat Inter. But if we don't win the Supercoppa, I'm not going to get, it's not going to, how do you want to say that? It's not going to sit well for a couple of hours because we lost the game. But the day after, I'm like, yeah, it's a Supercoppa. Coppa Italia, it is different. But yeah, Allegri spoke, and he had quite a few things to say. Some repetitive things, but we're going to go through the quotes. He said, "We value the Coppa Italia highly. As always, we play for this and the league. We enter the competition against a team that has won in Verona and is in a good form. And we must do our best to reach the quarter finals." Salernitana are not a good team. So it's not about jinxing. You just straight up, they're a poor team. They're a poor side. You can... I don't know how you can dress it up. They've won against Verona. Guess what? Verona are a terrible side as well. It's not that they have beaten Verona that I need to be like, oh, they're they're on a roll here. They found their groove, whatever you want to call it, because Verona are a terrible side as well. They're not a good side, Verona. They have, I think, 2 points less than Salernitana at this moment in time. They're a terrible team as well, So I don't really care that they have beaten Verona. That's what relegation sides do. They beat each other. And other than that, they usually don't beat other teams. That's why they're relegation sides. So good for them, I guess. But it doesn't really change anything when you come to the stadium. Or it should not change anything when you come to the stadium. If you look at Milan yesterday, they actually played their under-19s, basically, and they smashed Cagliari. Cagliari rested the players. I also believe Salernitana is going to do that for the same reason, because the league is the big thing. The Coppa Italia, whatever, it's the league that really matters. And in the league, they need to win to stay up. And funny enough, they play us again on Sunday. That's what it is. But at this moment in time, I don't think they're going to look at the Coppa Italia because it doesn't really make sense for them. And then he was asked the big question, are you favorites for the Coppa Italia? The obvious question is yes. But he said anything can happen in a single game. Just look at the eliminations of Napoli and Inter. In a 30-game league, the true values emerge, but in the knockout match, anything can happen. I see what happened to Napoli and Inter, and you know what? It's shambolic. It shouldn't happen. That's what it is. It shouldn't happen. It did happen, so credit. However, they played better sides. They played Frosinone, not saying that Frosinone should be beating Napoli 4-all at their place. Inter played Bologna, who are a good side this season. We play bottom of the league in the Coppa Italia. We are the favorites in this competition, Who's left in it? Milan, Fiorentina, Roma, Lazio, I guess. You are the favorites. Like, you cannot hide from this. There's no playing it down. I'm not expecting him to come out and say we are the favorites. But this is kind of a monologue that I'm getting tired of it. Like, it's pointless because he's still downplaying it at times for being in a title race when you have your players coming out saying, yes, that's the goal. Like, goals change, at the start of the season, this was our goal. We're halfway through the season, the goal has changed. When your players are coming out with that on a weekly basis, you look weird by saying these things, by kind of moving away the pressure. Like, the pressure is on. You're at Juve, the biggest club in Italy, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Pressure is on you every single day. So you need to accept it and you need to keep it moving. We are the favorites. There are no excuses for us not going out there and win the Coppa Italia. And I know anything can happen, but when you Inter are out of it, if you're not going to win it now, then when are you going to win it, basically, at this moment in time with this squad? That's the question. And it's been 3 years now. Excuses are done. You are the highest paid coach in the league. You need to pick up trophies because that's what the club demands, always demands. He said lifting a trophy is always important, but let's take it one step at a time. We represent Juve, and every game must be played to the fullest. That's the beauty of being at Juve. I agree with that. Just say that and move on, because if we go another season without any sort of trophy, then okay. Like, if people didn't already have question marks, those question marks should arise. If we win a Coppa Italia, but we make it a respectable title push, I can live with it because I know Inter are better equipped. Like, I can accept that. It hurts. Like, it's not fun to do, but I can accept that Inter have a better squad than us and that they are the clear-cut favorites to win the league. I think everybody can accept that. If we end the season and we win the Coppa Italia and we push Inter until the final 2, 3, 4 weeks, I think a lot of people can accept that because a lot of people were not expecting that at the start of the season. It should be an expectation because that's what Allegri stands for. At the start of the season, I said that is the expectation. Win the Coppa Italia and push for the title. Make it respectable. So if Allegri does that at the end of the season, he did what I expected him to do. I will speak on my concerns still if they are still there at the end of the season. But I cannot say, he failed my expectations, because that's my expectation. But if you don't win a cup again this season, and it's again 10 points off Inter entering the last 4 or 5 weeks, then you have a big time issue. You absolutely do. And I gave him leeway because of Fagioli and Pogba and all those things. But when news comes out from the club, from good sources, that he's not really willing to sign a player in January, I'm like, yeah, that's on you as well. You push the club to bring somebody in because you believe you're going to win the title, or you don't, basically. But you miss players. I gave you leeway. There is a January transfer window. There is an opportunity to do something. If you're saying I don't want to do anything, then that's kind of up to you at this point. But the Coppa Italia, you cannot shy away from it. Like, he needs to win it. We need to win it. He said initially the Coppa Italia may not seem important. It is. But it's a trophy. We must do our best to progress. I was kind of shocked that he said that, because before Allegri came into the club, nobody cared about the Coppa Italia. I think before Allegri won it, correct me if I'm wrong, we didn't win it for 20 years, 18 years, if I'm not mistaken. It was something like that. We hadn't won it. When did Allegri join? 2015? 2015. So, yeah, I think it is. No, it cannot be. Could it? No, it was probably like it was big time. And now I'm second guessing myself. I think it was like 15 years. It was a lot of years before we managed. Like we didn't win a Coppa Italia for many, many years. Allegri came in and he said it from, I think it was like his, I don't know, maybe his fifth presser, I think it was, when he came in and he said, you know what, things are going to change. Every single trophy is important. And we dominated that cup. We dominated. We won it for fun as well. Like we just picked it up because we won the Scudetto and it was like, why not the Coppa Italia? You know, so when he said that, I was kind of surprised because it is important. He knows it's important because he told the world or he told the fans 6-7 years ago it is key. Like it's not acceptable that a club like Juve doesn't win the Coppa Italia on a regular basis. So it is important. Initially, he said, now it may not seem important. It is because you told me it was. But it's a trophy. We must do our best to progress. Let's take it one step at a time. The team has its structure, and tomorrow we need to earn ourselves more matches. Yeah, like we haven't done anything. I think we discussed that at length already. Then he spoke about McKennie. He said McKennie has grown, his experience at Leeds has matured him, and he has returned with a strong desire to prove himself and stay. However, we are only halfway through the season, and he has another 5 months ahead to do even better. He did mature, you know. I think the effort he puts in is noticeable. It's good to see. I'm not sure in what he is gonna improve. If I'm being completely honest, maybe at scoring goals. If you know, depending on how we move forward throughout the season in formation wise, because in the position he's playing or the way we're playing, I don't think he's gonna get in a lot of goal scoring opportunities. He got one on the weekend. He missed that, but like we're not playing that type of football, or we're not playing him in a position like he played under Pirlo, where he was getting into the box, you know, just for fun. That's not happening at this moment in time. So I'm not really sure on what he's going to improve McKennie at this moment in time. I think this is kind of a ceiling, but he has improved, you know. But again, like the bar was extremely low for McKennie. I think people do not remember how poor he was before he left the club. You know, go on loan at Leeds, it was really poor, you know, performance-wise, fitness-wise, everything. Like he was just, it felt like he didn't care anymore. So the bar was extremely low. But credit to him, he has been doing very well this season, you know. And then the big question, which I'm not really going to discuss on this video because there is a lot of transfer news. Tatarachanu, Huijsen, Anderson. However, I'm going to record a video on that for tomorrow morning. But he was asked about the transfer market and he said, we just need to focus on our work. The team is improving both individually and as a group, and we must continue in this way. He's obviously not going to answer, I want this play, like he never did. And the day before a Coppa Italia game was definitely not the time he was going to say, I want players. He's like, he will always say, like, he can have 12 players available entering in the January transfer window, and he will say, we will have few players play. Like, he will not answer that question, and I'm okay with that. Like, I don't expect him to come out and say, I want this, this, and this, and this. Like, I don't expect him to do that. He will never do that. That's a waste of a question, I think, because not once did he respond with, I want a number 8 or whatever. You know, he will never do that. We just need to go off journalist for that case, for that scenario, I guess. But yeah, let's move on to... oh, hey, Norbert. I just saw you chat. Let's move on to the lineup because there are some interesting things concerning the lineup. Let me pop it up here really quickly. Let me see. Okay, so the lineup changes, which is obvious because it's a Coppa Italia game. So let me get in. So no Chesney. Usually that's a given. It's Perin. It's Perin that's gonna start. From the latest news reports, it is Bremer that's gonna play alongside. Let me bring that one up. Alongside Rugani, who's gonna start. And I saw from Sky Sport Italia the latest update that Gatti is also going to play. So that's expected backline for tomorrow. Then in the midfield, I've seen some very different news outlets suggesting completely different things for tomorrow in that midfield. Allegri spoke on who's going to play, and he hinted towards some changes in midfield. I saw that Nicolosi is expected to play. I'll be stunned because Locatelli is suspended, so Locatelli is going to play. I strongly believe that Cambiasso is going to play. For some reason, I have that feeling. I think he's going to start Miretti. Yeah, I'm going to mess this one up a little bit. He's going to start Rabiot. He's going to start Rabiot. Mess this one up. Miretti, here we go. And Cambiasso, let me see. And Cambiasso, here we go. And I do expect that Junior is going to play. Like, Junior needs to get a start. If he doesn't get a start tomorrow, then what are we doing, basically, at this point? You know, what are we doing? So I think it's going to be this. The interesting thing is that Yildiz is not going to play tomorrow. Like, Allegri didn't even say he's not going to start or whatever. He just said he's not going to play. And there's no news as of why. And maybe he's lying because there's no report that he's injured or any of those things. So it's a bit weird that he said he's not going to play. He said Chiesa's going to play because he needs the minutes. And I think he is going to start Milik tomorrow as well. So I think that's going to be the lineup. I'm pretty sure he can surprise us, but I do believe Perini said Perini is going to start. He said Rugani is going to start. He said Chiesa is going to start. Locatelli is suspended, so I'm assuming he's going to start. Miretti hasn't played for a while, so I think he's going to start. Junior deserves to start, and Rabiot is kind of, like he's never going to not play Rabiot, basically, at this point. So that's what I think is going to happen. Now, what we do need tomorrow is he needs to have a monster game. Chiesa needs to have a monster game. Milik needs to chip in. If this will be more than enough. Just a very good, solid display, is needed. And I'm expecting that type of performance. I'm expecting the front line to work. No matter who plays, I'm expecting to put that game away relatively quickly. I really believe that because we need to do that. We absolutely need to do that. It cannot be a very long type of game where we need injury time. Like, we cannot have injury time, extra time, because we play on Sunday. Like, Friday is rest day. Saturday you're traveling to Salerno because we play Salernitana again. So, and on 6 o'clock as well. So there's no real room to mess about. Like, we need to get that job done relatively quickly as well. So Yildiz is resting for the league. I like that. You would think that. I doubt that is the case. I think on Sunday, Chiesa and Vlahovic will be up top. So I'm not sure. Maybe he's lying, and maybe Yildiz will be in the starting 11 because there's no news reports about injury or any sort of those things. So I'm very confused as of now. I'm not going to lie. But let's see how that will go. We might see Nonga. Yeah, he said he might get some minutes. Let's see how that will go. Some were expecting him to start. I think it was kind of obvious that he was not going to start, and he can surprise us. But after his last interview, he said he still needs time to mature. So I was like, okay, I don't think he's going to start him, or he was again lying. But I don't think he was lying in that case. But that's a preview for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow night. I hope they win because it's my birthday tomorrow, and I don't want to come on and be pissed off late on the day because they didn't beat Salernitana on the Coppa Italia. Like, we need to beat them. We need to keep it moving. It's an obligation to beat them for the Coppa Italia because we need to win the Coppa. Like, it will be a big disaster if we don't make it out of into the next round tomorrow. It would, and it would affect our season, I do believe, mentally, because there is a cup we need to win. I think everybody agrees on that at the club. I think everybody knows that, fans, everybody. So let's see how that will go. My prediction is we're gonna win 3-1. I think we will do the job relatively easily. You know, I don't want to jinx it, but I do believe we'll get the job done. I do believe Chiesa will score twice, and then I have a feeling it's gonna be Locatelli. Don't ask me why, it's just a feeling, but I think we're gonna win 3-1. And let's see how that will go tomorrow evening. Hopefully I can come on with some positive vibes, I guess. I think heading into Sunday, which is also massive, because I think Inter play Verona at home, if I'm not mistaken, so they're gonna pick up those 3 points. We need to respond on Sunday, and considering the month we have, we need to pick up 4 wins to go to the Miazza, the first game of February, and play for it. Play for that first spot, put the pressure on Inter, or however you want to call it. But for that to be the case, you need to win all games in January. But let's see how that will go. If you haven't liked the video, like it. The goal for this one is still 50. If you rewatch it, like it as well, because the last videos, the likes are going up, and it is helping the channel massively, more than people could imagine, and it's just one click of the bottom. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow post game, and I'm live again Saturday evening, probably for the preview for again Salernitana, but then for the league this time. Thanks for watching. See you guys.